Welcome to Sorry I'm a Bitch, mini episode edition. Today's topic is your best friend's ex fair game?
That's such a good question.
Take it away.
I think it really depends. I think it depends on how long did your best friend and the person in question date? What is your friendship like? What is it that you said? It's not just defining the relationship, but also...
It's not just DTR, defining the relationship. You also have to DTF, which is define the friendship.
It's also down to fuck.
It's also, which I mean, stands.
Yeah. I love that because I think if they're really your friend, are they going to go for your ex?
No. And also, I would just be wondering, too, if a friend of mine got with an ex, I'd be like, did you... Like, I feel like if something happened to Zach and I, God forbid, it won't because he knows what he has. If it did, I feel like if one of my friends got with him, I'd be like, were you in love the whole time?
That'd be so weird. It'd be one thing if you guys dated for like 3 months, but you're married. You have a child and you own a home together.
Yeah. Like, it's totally different. Also, now I'm going to be at dinner parties looking around at everybody like,
did you know?
Do you want to fuck my husband too?
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like best friend's ex is fair game. Did everyone else in the friend group know about it before you? Yeah. It's really fucked up because it makes you question everything.
When they had to have known about it before you, because I feel like you'd have to be the last to know, unless you're the first to know.
Yeah.
When do you bring your friend in and be like, hey, is it cool?
Let's say you and your ex broke up years ago and a friend comes to you and they're like, hey, actually, I bumped into so-and-so at the grocery store and we grabbed coffee and we kind of hit it off. I wanted to come to you and say, hey, I like him. I kind of want to explore it. Would you be okay with it?
Somebody wrote into us and said, I'm no longer with him anymore. And who am I to stand between something that could be like really good for my friend? We didn't work out because we weren't each other's person. But who am I to stand between two people who might be each other's person?
Yeah.
And I totally understand that part of it. But again, I really think that's the DTF type thing. Like if something happened to Zach and I and my best friend Lucy or like you got with Zach, I would feel a type of way.
Inner circle friends, no. But if maybe like an outer circle friend.
An outer circle, an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd invite you to my Halloween party, but I'm not going to invite you to like my baby shower. That kind of friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you DTF. Is it Halloween party or baby shower, bitch? Where you stand.
Well, it depends on how rich you are, though, too. Let's say you're having like a massive baby shower.
Yeah, say you didn't get pregnant during COVID like me. I can only invite like 7 friends.
Your baby shower was wild.
You know what? We don't talk about my baby shower.
I cried at your baby shower.
Everybody cried. I like walked into the kitchen. There were a bunch of people in the middle of the kitchen just crying. And I was like, I'm out.
The only sober person there.
I know. Okay, my mom, I hope she's not listening right now. I love you, Mom. But my mom pissed her pants. Anyway, shout out, Mom.
I feel like I need to explain your baby shower. You had troughs of booze. And it was...
You know what? Yeah, so I deserved everything that happened. Because
it was... And it was December 2020, right?
Yeah.
December, November.
Mm-hmm. December.
And so everyone was like freshly vaccinated. And
everyone had quarantine for 2 weeks before my baby shower to like be with everybody.
Quarantine brain. So we're like, let's socialize. Yeah. It was inevitable that I would cry.
Yikes. Welcome to the world, Lydia. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think it definitely depends on the friendship. I do think everybody deserves happiness. I've been in a relationship for the last 10 years. Anyone who wants to date one of my exes, I don't even view them as exes right now. They're so far in my rear view mirror. Like I feel like if someone wanted to date one of my exes, I'd be like, I don't even know him. I'm not the same person I was 12, 13, 14 years ago when we dated. So I'm sure he's not the same person. And also, I don't really have any exes that are like, well, I have one ex that if any of my friends dated, I'd be like, babe.
There are so many people out there. Why go for
Yeah.
someone's ex.
You know what? Somebody did bring up another thing. They said, "Where do you live?" Because if you're in a
Mm,
big city and you're dating one of my exes, why? If you're in a small town and you're dating one of my exes, it's like, well, it's not like you have as many fish.
true.
And I feel like this conversation, we're not going to talk about it and because we'll wait, but I do feel like this part of the conversation kind of ties into turkey sandwich.
Oh, it does tie into
Yeah.
turkey sandwich.
We will talk about turkey sandwich next week.
Yes.
So yeah, it depends on how big your pool is.
Well, and then at that point, I wonder if you are in a small town,
Hmm.
if you just get used to your friends dating your exes, or
Well,
even or like your siblings or your cousins,
oh
like not you
gosh.
dating them, but your
Yeah.
friends
No,
dating
I
them.
know what you I think the
Unless you're in
audience knew where
Alabama.
you were going from with that Kentucky. So I do think it depends on, do you feel betrayed or do you just feel awkward?
Mm,
Because if you feel betrayed, like not cool, but if it's just like, man, that's gonna be awkward. I'm not gonna be able to like double date with you because like weird.
yeah. Or if you're having a little party and you want to invite your friend and they invite your ex. And I think it also depends on how healed you are from the
Yeah.
relationship or how healed they are
Yeah.
and how grown you are as a person. I think it would be perfectly okay to say, let's say your friend comes to you and he's like, they're like, I want to date your ex. And you can say, cool, that's great. I don't want to be your friend anymore. Or you can say,
Yeah.
that's great. I support you.
Hmm.
I wish you the best of luck.
I
You have
mean,
choices in it too.
yeah, you have the choice to go and find somebody who is brand new to everybody, or you run the risk of being compared to me for the rest of your relationship.
Yeah.
Babe, there's no comparison.
Yeah. True. I had one very specific situation when I was 21. I had been living with my ex, who I'm now, like nearly 15 years later, starting to become friends with. And what I'm about to share isn't to fault him. We were all really young, and it's also not to fault my friend who's involved. They know
Mhm.
who they are. My ex and I had gone through a breakup. We were still living together. It was very messy. We were very immature. One of my best friends from high school, she texted me. She's like, hey, I heard about your party that you guys are having tonight. Because we had other roommates. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, can't wait to see you. So she comes by. I had plans to dip out for a little bit and then come back to the party because I was seeing someone new. And she's like, take my car. And I was like, okay, cool. And she had like this brand new Mustang. I drove it, hung out with the dude, came back. And when I came back to the party, I swear it was like the people playing beer pong, like the music died down. Everyone playing beer pong like looked at me. And I kind of like scanned the room and I'm like, where's my ex? Where's my friend? Sure enough, they were banging in the other room. And I remember I like knocked on the door and I was like, I'm home. He came out and he was very apologetic. And I was like, don't talk to me. And then she
Yeah.
came out and I was like, when you are sober, get the fuck out of my house. And that really sucked. That just hurt because the breakup was still fresh. We were still living together. Why would you do that? I very much cared about this guy still. I still do. Like again, this story is no fault to him. Like I've made really terrible decisions in relationships and breakups. I have no hard feelings about it anymore. And actually the girlfriend, she and I a few years later were able to talk about it and she apologized and I was like, "You know what? You guys were drunk. It is
Mhm.
what it is." I think our friendship is something worth revisiting. And
Mhm.
so we were able to figure it out. We're not like
There
the
you go.
closest as we were,
Well,
but
yeah,
yeah.
I'd
So,
imagine. Yeah.
but again, small town, there weren't a lot of options. Also, like, she's cool, he's cool, they're both hot. Like,
Yikes. I don't know. I think I'm
yeah,
just too much of a girl's girl. Like, there's
yeah.
just no man on the face of the earth that would be worth
Oh,
ever
same,
losing a friend.
same. I've never, I'm trying to think if I've ever hooked up with someone's ex or dated them.
Mm-mm. No.
One of the other questions that we received, and this isn't quite like, is your best friend's ex fair game? But
Yeah.
they said, I'm curious about how you guys handle not vibing with your close friend's partner. How do we feel about like what
Hmm.
if we don't vibe with them?
I feel okay. So my friend Lucy and I were like best, 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 best. Like known her since I was like 5, I hated her ex-husband. Hated her ex-husband so much. Like, I had to do a speech at their wedding. Bitch, I was struggling. Struggling. Like, it was just, he just sucked. And then, and he just treated her not good, but they had been together forever. Like, high school sweethearts, college sweethearts, and they got married. And I was like, you can just do so much better. But there's just like no telling someone that they could do better when they're in love with somebody. So I feel like she'll probably disagree with you, but I think I shut my mouth. I shut my mouth as much as I could shut my mouth. And then she called me up. He did some skank ass shit. She called me up. She's like, we're getting a divorce. And I felt horrible for her. Did I take a shot to celebrate? Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did. But you know what? I hurt for her. And you know what? She's in the best marriage ever right now with the best dude.
So basically, like, your opinion is you don't get to have a say in it.
That is one of those things too, where it's like, are you willing to lose your friend over it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if I had been as vocal as I wanted to be, I wouldn't have her right now. Like, you kind of have to, it's kind of like with your kid. You give them a little guidance, but also if you push too hard, you're going to just push yourself away. You're not going to push them from the other person. Like, she was married.
That's a really good point. When I was in a really, really awful relationship, none of my friends liked the dude. And everyone like kind of hinted at it to me. They're like, you know what? You're choosing this person. We support you. We don't like the way he treats you, but you know, you figure that out. And one thing a friend always told me was, no matter what, I'm your friend. You can go, like, the dude and I had been breaking up over and over and over again. And it was just so toxic and bad. And she's like, if you go back to him, I will accept him again. Not happy about it, but I support you. And hearing that was so good, because then I felt safe leaving him, because someone was still, one of my good friends was still trying to let me know that she was there for me, because I was very isolated. Yeah. So I think you did the right thing with her.
I had one friend ask me one time, like, I feel like you don't like my boyfriend. And I was like, okay, here's the deal. How much do you actually value my opinion about your relationship? Because if you actually value my opinion about your relationship a lot, to the point where it's going to change your mind about this person, then I will answer that question. I will answer that question honestly. But if you don't value my opinion about your relationship, which you shouldn't really, it's your relationship, I'm going to stay silent.
How you talk about your partner to your friends is how you feel about your partner.
That's true.
So if you're saying things like, he yelled at me about this and he did that and blah, blah, blah. If you have negative things to say about them, that's going to be your friend's perception of him and or her. In my current relationship, I only have wonderful things to say about him because he's fucking awesome. And anything that is a problem, we figure out together. And that's such a beautiful thing. And if you don't have that, they're not the one. Sorry.
They're not the one. Yeah. I would have, I don't even know what I could say about Zach. I'd have to make something up. Like, if we break up, like, I think he'll get my family in the divorce.
I think the worst thing that you've ever said about him was like when he wakes up in the night or like rolls over, you get upset about that.
And that's my mental illness. It's not even rolling over. This bitch talks in his sleep. He'll wake up and he'll be like, hey, the other day I bought a toaster and then I fucking put it in the microwave. Just random freaking shit. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Really?
Yeah. He talks in his sleep.
Do you ever record it?
Yeah. I tried to record it one time. I like recorded us sleeping and it was just him farting the whole night. And I was like, you know what? I think we got our point across on, I feel like we wouldn't do it, but teach their own.
When we asked Reddit, like, everyone there was like, if you want to keep your friend, don't date their ex. Yeah. And I agree with that.
Yeah. DTF.
Define the friendship. Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next week.